Riser, riding into rounds. They're riding in limp return, but slates west struns, exits. Riser, riding into rounds. They're riding in limp return, but slates west struns, exits.
Meggs was once a man named Paul Revere, who rode under the midnight moon. He knew he might never return, but he went riding for liberty, because he wanted a country without a king, a country where all men could be free. Paul Revere was a silversmith in Old Boston town. If anything could be made of silver, Revere could make it in his shop on Fish Street. He made teapots and cream pots, buckles and bowls and spoons and jugs and cups. But on this April night he left his shop. He walked quickly through the streets, keeping away from the king's soldiers in their red coats. Robert Newman was waiting for him, almost hidden by the shadow of Christ Church. The king's soldiers marched tonight. Revere said, "They want to capture our guns and gunpowder and some of our men. I am riding to Lexington to give the warning, but the redcoats may stop me. We are to tell our men with lanterns how the British go. One if by land and two if by sea." Newman nodded. "I know the plan. I will show the lanterns from the tower of the church. Show 2 lanterns. The redcoats are going by sea," said Paul Revere, while Robert Newman started up the tower. Paul Revere hurried home. He put on his boots and riding coat and said goodbye to his wife and children. "Good luck, father," said young Paul, his oldest son. "Thank you, son," Paul Revere said. "Now, it's up to you to take care of things here, for there is no telling when I will return home." Once again, Paul Revere went out into the night. With 2 friends, he went to the river bank where he had hidden a rowboat. "My spurs," he said. "I've forgotten mine." Spurs? How can I ride without them? Then he saw that his dog had followed him.
I will show the lanterns from the tower of the
Writing
church.
a note to
Show
Mrs.
2
Revere.
lanterns. The
He tied
redcoats
it
are going
to
by. I know the plan.
the dog.
I will show the lanterns from
boy,
the
he
tower
said.
of the church.
Home
Show
as
2
fast
lanterns.
as
The redcoats are going by.
you can.
Ah, that's better.
The dog was back in a few
We
minutes
did it!
and
We did it!
tied around his
right
neck
under
with the
their
spurs.
noses.
"Ah, that's better," said Paul Revere. Getting into the boat, Paul Revere and his
That's better.
friends began to row across the river,
We did it!
floating.
We did it!
On the water
right
was the
under
ship
their
Somerset.
noses. That's
It was
better.
a
We
big
did
ship,
it.
the king's
We
ship,
did it.
and it had
We
64
did it! Right under their
cannons.
noses.
Its lanterns shone out
You
in the
must
darkness.
be careful, sir. There are
Like
redcoats on the
staring
road.
eyes.
I will. Well,
Paul
gentlemen,
Revere
I must
kept
be
listening
off.
for the
No, no,
roar
no.
of
We did
cannon
it.
or the shout of a
We
ship's
did
officer,
it.
but he
Right
could
under
hear
their
nothing,
nose.
and at last the boat touched shore. "We did it," Paul Revere said. "We did it."
The redcoats on the road.
Right under their
I will.
noses.
Well, gentlemen, I must be
Not
off.
far from shore, Paul Revere met some
Soldiers, redcoat. There
Men.
are redcoats on
They
the road.
led him to
I
Deacon
will.
Larkin's
well,
house.
Gentlemen, I must be off.
and gave him a horse.
Soldiers,
"You must be
redcoat.
careful, sir," said one of them. "Men, there are redcoats on the road." "I will," Paul Revere said as he got into them. Saddle. "Well, gentlemen, I must be off." And Paul Revere began riding. For liberty, past fields and meadows, past orchards and farms he rode, brooks and streams, flashed by in the moonlight, and in all the world there was no sound but the rush of wind and the thud of the horses' hoofs on the road. Then ahead of him, he saw 2 men on horseback. Their pistols gleamed in the moonlight. "Soldiers," Paul Revere said. "Redcoats."
Ah, that's better.
One of the soldiers galloped
We
toward
did
him,
it!
and
We did it!
Paul Revere
right under
cut
their
across a
noses.
field. Near a swamp, suddenly turned aside. He smiled as the horse behind him crashed into the swamp, its hoofs sinking in the mud. Spurring on his horse, Paul Revere raced to another road. Riding, he came to the village of Medford. He stopped at a house and pounded on the door. "Wake up," he shouted. "The redcoats are coming." At every house, all the way to Lexington, Paul Revere shouted his warning. To arms, the redcoats are coming." And everywhere, men reached for their rifles. They were minute men ready to fight. A minute, women ran to the swamps with bear. Children, church bells rang and drums rolled. For the redcoats were coming, and the time had come to fight for liberty. And when the redcoats marched into Lexington, the Minutemen were there before.
Two more redcoats are coming.
Them, a shot was fired and the battle started. And the battle was the start of a great war. For years the war went on, and when the war was over, there was a new country, the United States of America. It was a country without a king, where all men could be free. And Americans have never forgotten Paul Revere, who rode under the midnight moon, riding for liberty.